right, so this video is going to be a series of videos that I'm going to be doing and what I'm doing to tackle fungus gnats. And yeah, so this is just one of my setups. I have 4 indoor setups. I have 1 greenhouse outside. I have a grow room, and I have this area right here, and I have another area by the window downstairs in the kitchen. So one of the things I struggle with is not realizing that fungus gnats were my enemy. I thought fungus gnats meant, oh, they ate fungus. Yeah, they do. But I didn't realize it meant their babies were going to be eating the roots of the vegetables that I was going to be trying to jumpstart. There goes an enemy floating around over here somewhere. I saw it. Anyway, you'll see there's one plant that's shriveled, another one that's shriveled. And there was a couple that I lost in here already. There's another one right there, another victim. This one's called almost becoming a victim. But I finally decided to take this matters into my own hands. I tried a couple of things. I tried hydrogen peroxide. Didn't work. I tried soap and water. That was actually pretty effective. I've tried boiling the soil, boiling the water and then pouring the hot water on it, which I don't think kills all the gnats. Because the same pot that I have boiled water after it cooled down about like maybe a couple of days later and it had a lid on it, fungus gnats was in it when I pulled the lid up, and I was pretty upset about that. So I did another method, which I took that same pot and I put it on top of the stove this time, and I boiled the mess out of what the liquid that was left in there to try to dry it out, because you hear it over and over in all these videos. Your worst enemy is what? Moisture, right? So I had to literally learn to do the reverse of what I would do outside in the garden. I had to do the reverse in here. So I had to make sure the soil is really, really dry. So unfortunately, that meant a couple of plants had to suffer, but we're getting progress. So that's the whole entire point. And then I ran across some videos, which I'm going to leave the name to the guy who gave me the idea to do the pipette and to do the oil filter funnels inside my garden, which I'll show clips of that in here. I just started that one down there, but I was testing it out here first, and oh my gosh, it's leaving the soil dry on the top, and that's what you need. Now, for plants like this, smaller plants like this that tend to grow on the surface, this one is what? This is yarrow right now, it's still baby stage. And then I have some marigam in here, and then I have some strawberries. These roots aren't going to get deep very quickly. I mean, eventually they will, but right now they're at that level where they usually grow on the surface. So I have to do something different. So let me show you what I do. So I filled up a jar here, and I have water and a little bit of a worm casting in there. So I'll show you what I got here. So I got this earthworm casting, and I put a little bit of that in there, which I got from another video when it came to hydroponics. And I really wanted to figure out something where I can stop the fungus gnats from eating the babies. My problem is not germination. Germinating is no big deal. I have this going on in here right now. This is how I usually germinate. Either this or I would soak my seeds first prior to doing this. But like these seeds right here, I have bok chow, I have poblano, something else, arugula, and then I have Swiss chard right there. So I already have 1 Swiss chard growing already. I can't tell you how many have been sacrificed to the fungus gnats, and it's so, if any of you suffer with fungus gnats, you know the frustration. So I had to go another route, because if I'm buying bags of soil, why not take it and try this method? And this was something I got from another YouTuber who uses what they call the pool floats. So I chopped up the pool floats. I found them at Lowe's, and this is January 2021. If you look online, Lowe's is selling them right now. Eventually they'll be in season at Dollar Tree and other places once it starts to, the summer months start to show up. Or you can order them online, which is really expensive. So I had to pass on that. So I'm testing out to see if I can get seeds to grow successfully in this and have the roots grow successfully through the bottom. Anyone curious how I did this? I just I stuck a pin and stuck it all the way through so I can make a hole that's big enough for the seed to fit through and for the roots to grow through the bottom. Anyway, but let me get back to the story. Earthworm casting in water. All right, so I got my little pipette here, and funny enough, I had all this stuff already. So look around your house and find out what you have already that you can make this work. You know, if you got a turkey baster, if you can get a small syringe, or you would just have to really, honestly, just get creative. Find something that has a small tip that you can squeeze liquid out of. So it can be a bottle with a small tip and you have the control of squeezing a little in a precise area. So I chose to go with this because I saw him using it and I was like, oh my gosh, I have those. So I'm gonna come up here and show you what I normally do. Squeeze it on a direct area. So instead of doing what I've been doing before, which is watering the whole thing, getting the whole thing soaking wet, and then when it becomes soaking wet, these fungus gnats just come everywhere and lay their babies, and their babies come and just eat up the roots. So in conjunction with that, I'm using 2 other weapons as well. So I got the Diatomaceous Earth that I've sprinkled on the top. I let the soil dry out, and I'm using this thing that I saw on another YouTuber's video, because I have been researching the mess out of this, because I'm like, you know what, there's got to be an answer. There's got to be an answer when it comes to growing food on the indoors, like starting it indoors or growing it indoors, period. Okay. Now another method I saw another YouTuber do is he used sponges. So I thought that was a great idea, because this is actually, look at it, it's more palatable, right? So it's easier for the roots to grow through. And let me kind of like lift this up. I don't want to disturb the plant too much. Let's see, can you see the roots? No. So the roots are still inside the sponge. So I make sure with these smaller containers that I water them daily with just like a couple of squirts, and try to get the liquid to settle there on the bottom. You look in there, you can see like how much I have in there. But because these are strawberries in there, like I said, the roots are not deep at all. And I did not start these strawberries in this. I actually started them on top of dirt and just let them grow, but I got tired of getting attacked by an enemy. So switching some of them caused them to get stressed. I probably should have waited until they got bigger, but honestly, the fungus gnats are limiting them from even getting past their initial true leaf stage, and it's so, it's frustrating. It's one thing if it's a big plant, but it's a whole nother story. And that's all I've been doing, is like a drop a day, just to make sure they're getting enough liquid, because I wasn't doing that and I had a bunch dry up on me. So I'm like, you know what, lesson learned. See, this one dried out because it really wasn't enough liquid in here. So I'm gonna put some seeds in here to use this as another growing medium, probably like 1 seed each. See, there go my little baby strawberry, it's growing. It finally got a true leaf show up while it was in here. It's only been here for about a week. See, that one's gone. And I have some seeds in some of these. I don't know which one has the seeds, but I'm just experimenting. So I'm just pretty much just experimenting to see what will happen. And these are strawberries that I bought from the store. I just sliced the skin, put it on top of the dirt, and I covered it up with saran wrap. Well, one of the things that I learned about growing them in these jars, because I had a whole bunch of mason jars. All right, so I'm just gonna want you to see. So I covered it up because if you have water sitting in any kind of clear or see-through container, what would happen is you'll start to grow algae in there, and I don't want to grow algae. So I used what I had, which is aluminum foil, which was this candy, and I covered it. Now the reason I'm showing you this, because I want you to see the roots. See, I don't want the roots sitting all of it directly in there, otherwise it will end up having root rot. So you want to have some of the root in there and then some oxygen in there as well. So that's one of the things I've been learning. We'll see how it goes, because I killed a couple of these already, transferring them and having the whole root submerged and having the water all the way to the top. And then I found that information. I was like, oh, okay, I'm killing my plants. They're having root rot. Now, this is my grow room setup. Keep in mind, this is my first time doing this. I've mostly been growing outside, waiting for the weather to get right. But I really wanted to jump start and have some stuff growing during the winter, having at least, you know, some lettuce, vegetables, something growing, and then starting some winter crops. So I wanted to start those, but they kept dying, and I was like, what is wrong? They grow, they get past the seedling stage, they grow, and then they start shriveling up, one leaf at a time. And then I came to find out it's one of these little critters that's floating around here, and they'll usually be on top of the soil. You won't even know they're there. So anyway, so this is my setup in here, and you can see initially I had the soil way too moist, and when I sprinkled the Diatomaceous Earth on here, it just literally just soaked up all the liquid. So I really been trying to work to have this dry out completely, and then start putting just a little bit of liquid at the bottom to feed them from the bottom. But in the meantime, since they're still growing, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So this is one of the other devices that I'm using. What is it called? It's called a Katchy, and I found this through this other video. And I'm gonna tell you this, the information is out there. You've just got to be willing to do the research. Let me show you how this one works. All right, so the cool thing about this is it lights up, and what it does is it attracts the bugs. And what will happen is the bugs will see that light and they'll be like, oh, what's that? I gotta come closer. And then it will get sucked in by this fan that's right here. And then it gets sucked in and it gets sucked down into this area. And let me show you the progress we have so far. And it's been about a week and a half. Well, it's going on about a week and a half. And this is what I've collected so far. See these little monsters? They're not monsters, they're just so precious. This is my battle that I'm deciding not to give up. I'm telling you, I was so frustrated. I've been frustrated over and over. You try hydrogen peroxide, it doesn't work. You try soapy water and neem oil, it doesn't work. You try, I'm trying to make Diatomaceous Earth, and what I realize is it's useless if the topsoil is soaking wet. So that's another reason why I had to really be patient and allow the soil to dry out. I've also been using my heater as well. It's setting it to like an hour or 2 hours so it can have breeze in here, and to also dry the soil out, which has worked. So now I'm back to the Diatomaceous Earth, putting that on the top surface. I'm using a food grade version. Now this is the funnel thing I was talking about. I got this from the Dollar Tree, and I saved a couple of bottles of soda, and I squirted into here a mixture of the earthworm casting and water. So, and that's basically just funneling down to the bottom to try to moisturize or feed the plants from the bottom roots instead of from the surface. So now this is what I'm going to have to do for this indoor situation. Just for indoors only. So growing indoors, growing in a greenhouse, I'm going to try to bottom feed everything the best of my ability, unless it's still growing on the surface. So basically I'm testing and also trying to see if garlic makes a difference with these things not tackling and killing the poor little freaking plants. So we'll see, but I really need this to dry out, so I've been trying to practice airing the place out. The ones that are outside are fine. There's no struggle at all, and it's because they get a chance to dry out. The soil gets a chance to get wet and then dry, wet and then dry, versus in there and then inside, the soil gets to stay wet the entire time. It's moist the entire time. So, and I got a couple of dandelions growing in here. I got some baby carrots, some spinach, different kind of lettuce growing in here, some garlics as well. And these little guys too, they're also doing well. Now, this is the container that I use to mix the earthworm casting and the water. And hey, look, I used what I had on hand. You can use a turkey baster, whatever you want to use to fill the bottle, or you can put the bottle in there and just let the liquid fill in. It's up to you. I just didn't like the way the earthworm casting smelled. So I decided to just use what I had on hand, and this is what I had. So, you know, get creative. So, and this is both from the dollar store. They're not selling this right now, but I'm sure they probably got a turkey baster that you could use, mix, and, you know, put your own thing in there and fill up your bottles. Or use this to water directly at the base of the plant. I'm doing this more so for these containers that I haven't purchased the funnel for yet, but these would be great to put the funnels in as well. Put a bottle in there to block the hole. So not just to block the hole, but to have the liquid in and let the liquid go down when the plant needs it. So that's the other cool thing about that, is it will keep watering the plants regardless of if I'm here or if I'm not. And when it runs out, guess what? I don't have to worry about anything. I can just come back and fill it up and then go about my business, and these plants stay watered. So that's another cool thing I really like. All right, anyway, that is it for this video. I'm going to be sharing more tips about how this journey is going with this battle of this fungus gnats. And yeah, and keep pushing. Don't give up. I know it's frustrating. I've been trying to grow since what was that, October? We're in January and this is all I got to show for it. This is not okay. This is not okay. Even I know better than this. It's not okay. I mean, I'm glad I got some potatoes growing successful, great, and got some garlic. But I mean, can I have some vegetables? Anyway, so thanks for watching. Definitely share down below any tips of anything you've been doing that has been working for you. Because I'm telling you, like, I would, if it works, I definitely would love to give it a try if I haven't tried it already. Anyway, I will talk to y'all soon. Until the next time. Bye.